Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother coming to you live from beautiful Miami Gardens, Florida. And today I'm going to make a short video concerning the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution and what it means to us, we the people. First of all, I am not a lawyer nor an attorney. This is not legal advice. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay, these are stuff that we researched and share with our fellow, we the people. All right, to begin, what is the Supremacy Clause? Well, it could be found in Article 6 of the United States Constitution. I'm just paraphrasing. It states that this Constitution and the laws pursuant shall be the supreme law of the land. Okay, notice it says supreme. We know what the word supreme means. Supreme means, in layman's term, the highest. Okay, so it's the supreme law of the land, and we know what land is. In this case, it's talking about the 50 continental geographical states. Okay, so the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Okay, it went further by saying every judge in every state is bound thereof. That's why every judge in every state, doesn't matter what state, they have to swear an oath to uphold and defend and protect the Constitution and the laws of the United States for America. So it's very, very important. Not only judges, it went further by saying in the same Article 6 Supremacy Clause, those of the legislative, executive, and judicial branch are all bound by oath. So all government officials, they're going to be either in the legislative branch, the executive branch, or the judiciary branch. They all must, not a choice, they must support and defend the Constitution for the United States of America, okay? That's why they have to have an oath of office. In other words, it's a binding commitment. It is a fiduciary duty between we the people and those that we put in office to protect our unalienable and inherent rights while we go about our daily business. Okay, so they work for us. It was Thomas Jefferson who said this famous quote, when the people fear the government, it's tyranny, but when the government fears the people, it is freedom. Okay, it's just straightforward. Okay, now it went further to say also that anything anything to the contrary is notwithstanding. Meaning anything that conflicts or contradicts or is against the United States Constitution doesn't have any standing. It doesn't matter what they say or what they try to force upon us. If it's against the supreme law of the land, it has no standing. And like I said before in a previous video, standing is what a party needs to bring an action in court, a court of law. Okay, what is a court of law? A court of law, according to the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, is found in Article 3. Okay, the Constitution of the United States for America, it puts the courts in Article 3. It's also known as a common law court. Meaning, what is common law? Common sense. You know, if I injure you, I restore you, and vice versa. That's common law, common sense. Okay? So it's very, very important to understand. So that's the Supremacy Clause, which is the law of the land. So when they come with all different statutes, codes, regulation, these statutes, codes, and regulations are fine if you consent to them, and if they're in line with the Constitution, then they're okay. But if they contradict, contrary to the Constitution, then they are null and void. 1803, when they had the Supreme Court ruling in Madison, okay, Marbury versus Madison, the court stated, the highest court, that anything that is unconstitutional is null and void. Not voidable, but void, as if it didn't exist. In other words, if they pass a law or a statute or a code or whatever, and it conflicts with the Constitution, it's a nullity. It's like it never existed in the first place. Okay? That's how serious it is. So anything to be valid must be in line with the United States Constitution. And it is so sad because a lot of government actors, all right, which are in offices now, a lot of them do not know what they sworn out to. In other words, they know that they sworn out to a constitution, but most of them don't know what's in the constitution. And it is so sad. It is so sad. And this is very dangerous because it's setting up precedents where people's rights are being violated by a lot of officials who don't even know that they're violating the people's right. It is so sad. It is so sad. And like I said, it's very, very easy to understand. Let me give you an example how dangerous this is. There are people who sometimes are charged or sued for stuff which the Constitution protects. Yet, when they try to defend themselves with the same Constitution, sometimes judges or magistrates or different public officials will punish them for asserting and defending their rights. That is wrong. That's why there's a famous case law where the High Court's rule and states that there shall be no sanction or penalty for the exercise of a constitutional right. This is very, very important, okay? This is very, very important. Very, very important. One cannot be punished for asserting a constitutional protected right, okay? Very, very important. And also, there's another case law where they talk about where rights are concerned, there can be no legislative nor rulemaking to abrogate them, okay? I think this is Arizona, state of Arizona. Very, 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 very important. People, we must understand our rights are from the Almighty and they must be protected. And these people who are going in offices who doesn't understand these rights, they should learn them. Or why would you swear to protect and defend something that you don't know or you don't like? If you don't like it, don't do the job, okay? Don't do the job if you do not like it, okay? If you do not like the Republic form of government, then do something about it by either trying to change it or move elsewhere. But that's how it is right here. The Republic form of government is what was instituted in the Constitution, okay? The people have a Republican form of government, not a democracy, okay? And like we said before, people don't understand the meaning of both. Very, very important. A democracy comes from Latin, Greco demo, which means mob rule. The danger with a democracy is this, is the majority rule. So that means the minority, think about this, the minority voices are not heard because it's a majority rule. But in a republic, it's one man, one vote, rights are protected by a constitution, okay, and it's a consent by government. Which one will you rather have? Very, very important. So these are things that they're not being taught anymore, but it's right there, right between our eyes. It's right in front of us, but we are not seeing it. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is not perfect, but it's like the best Constitution ever since the days of biblical writing, okay? And like I said, I studied it inside out, and a lot of its principles came from the scriptures. If you notice, from the founding of this republic, every president that goes into office, okay, they have to put their hand on the Bible. Why? Because a lot of the principles of the Constitution comes from the Bible, okay? The Bar Association came in and they tried to change a lot of these laws and turn them into statutes, okay? And remember, statutes are not laws, okay? They are made by legislative bodies, legal societies, and the legal societies and legislative bodies are the only ones who could enforce these statutes and codes, and they only apply to the society that they makes them for, okay? So statutes and laws are not the same, okay? Like I said earlier, some statutes are okay if they are within the line or the purview of the Constitution. If they conflict with the Constitution, then they are null and void. Common law, common sense. Oftentimes we hear people talk about, and sometimes I do it too, sometimes for lack of a better word, we use the term case laws, you know, when we're looking up stuff. The thing about that is, what is case law? What the bar attorneys tell us that is case laws are what they call common law, okay? what's case laws, they call it? A prior ruling by a court or a judge. They call that case law. But in reality, it's not a case law. This is our judges' rulings. Judges' rulings or judges' order. The problem with case law is this. In this country, laws can only be made by the legislative branch. Judges belong to the judiciary branch. And under the Constitution, there's no jump in the fence. One cannot work both in the legislative or the judiciary branch at the same time, or vice versa. And no one person can represent two opposite branch. So for somebody to say a judge make a case law, law is legislative branch and the judge is judiciary, that's impossible. So these are things that we need to know. So they're actually case opinion or judge's opinion or judge's order or case opinion, but they are not case laws. And remember, there are three steps separate and equal branches of government. The legislative branch, that's the lawmakers. That's like the Senate, House of Representatives, and the Congress. They make laws. The executive branch, that's like the president and the vice president. That's the police power, the military power, the enforcement branch. Then we have the judiciary branch. That's the courts, including from the Supreme Court all the way down, all the appeals courts. They see to it that whatever Congress passes and the president sign, they make sure that it's constitutional, that it's in line with the Constitution. So there are three separate and equal branches of government. And Thomas Jefferson said the reason behind this is this, very simple. They were coming from England where they had a monarchy, a king that rules and dictates everything. Here, they don't want that. So they want these three separate branches of government so that there are checks and balances. The legislative branch keeps an eye on the executive keep an eye on the judiciary and the executive, and back and forth, they keep an eye on each other, so to prevent tyranny. Freedom, my people. Freedom is very, very important, because without freedom we have nothing. Okay? Without freedom we have nothing. Okay? And it was Patrick Henry who said, "Give me liberty or give me death." I believe in that with my whole heart. I rather to die on my feet as a man, fighting for righteousness and the laws of the Almighty and common law, than to live on my knees in all different filths and abomination. That's not me. Okay, so we must stand for our rights, but we have to first know these rights. We have to know where our rights came from. They came from the Almighty. They do not come from government. Government was put there by we, the people, to protect our rights that came from the Almighty. In other words, the government supposed to work for us. Supposed to. But now what we see, we have, instead of a government of, for, and by we the people, we now have a government of, for, and by the corporations. That's what's taking over. And the bar, like I said, if you haven't seen my video yet on the Bar Association, go look it up. It's the most demonic and destructive organization that has ever set foot on the American soil. It is a threat to your freedom, people, my freedom. And those of us who just like basic decency, the Bar Association is a very demonic entity. And like I said, the 81st Congress in 1950, that's when we had a real Congress. We don't have a real Congress anymore. The 81st Congress in 1950, when they investigated the lawyers' guile, from where the American Bar Association sprung off from, they determined that it was a communist organization that does not have the best interest of the American people, and that is correct. Okay, so our job as we the people is to make sure our representatives hear, listen to our voices, and protect our freedom. Okay, so this is just a little shortish kind of video on the Supremacy Clause of the United States of America's Constitution. Okay, very, very important. And when we make these videos, it's just to tickle your mind, so you do further research yourself. Okay? Do further research, and your eyes will be opened to see what's going on right before you, and you don't even realize it. Okay? Research. Do your research. Okay? There shall be no sanction or penalty for the exercise of a constitutional protected right. Scherer versus Cullen. That was the case law. Okay? Very, very important. So until then, peace, love, and blessing. Shalom.